Alright, so I picked up another Surface Duo. This would actually be my fourth purchase of this device. So I'm going to do a quick little unboxing. Apparently it has the update to Android 12L, so we'll see if that has fixed the issues that I have had with the device in the past, which caused me to return it. I actually picked this up on Amazon for $389. This is the 256 gigabyte model, and we'll see if it meets expectations. I remember when this device was originally announced, I was excited to try it out, and I did purchase it for a full price. And when I did that, I guess it was like probably $1,500 when it first came out. I had it in my pocket one day at work and pulled it out. It was really warm and it never powered up again. So that's how I returned the first one. And the second one that I bought was actually a duplicate purchase. When I purchased the first one, I didn't think the order had gone through, so I purchased another one. And when I purchased that one, obviously I just sent it back because I didn't need two of them. And now, so here's the phone itself. All right, let's look and see what else is comes in the packaging here. Looks like we've got a Surface Duo bumper, which is inside of here. We'll open that up in a bit. Inside of here, we just have a SIM ejection tool and some pamphlets. See how this opens up here. Alright, here we've got the power brick. Okay, USB-C. And then here we've got our USB-C to C cable for charging. That's everything in the box. Now let's go ahead and get this bumper out and see what it looks like. Alright. Couple pieces of rubber here. Gives us the directions on how it actually is supposed to be applied. Let's open the device up, see what it looks like. So it's wrapped in this plastic here. Open it up. We've got it out. It's a sleek device. I like this one over the Duo 2 because you've got that complete close here. You don't have the camera bump, which I think is pretty cool. This is a lot more, I would say a lot more elegant by comparison. Alright, let's see if we can get that bumper on here. Two. Alright. See if that goes on like that. Alright, let's try the other side and see how well it does. Would have been nice if this actually attached by magnets as opposed to like a sticker. Okay. Okay, so now what I want to do is give an update on my experience with the Surface Duo. I opted not to buy the Surface Duo 2. Instead, I went with this Surface Duo, the original one, which I purchased on Amazon for just under $400. And I just want to kind of go over how I feel about the device and just my thoughts on the device itself. Now, just to give you a little bit of backstory, I do use an iPhone 10. I use a Note 8. And before I put my SIM card into this Surface Duo, I also used a Pixel 2 XL. So I, kind of spread my experience out over those three devices. I do have SIM card. Well, I did have SIM cards in all three of those phones. Now I have SIM cards in these three phones here. So going back to this particular Surface Duo, first and foremost, let's get the elephant out of the room. If you look here, I do have the busted port. So not happy about that. The original three Surface Duos that I had purchased, one of them I didn't open. It was just a duplicate buy. But the other two that I purchased and returned, I didn't have them, I guess, long enough for this to occur. So I'm not happy about that, but I was aware that this has happened to many of the customers as far as the port here actually being breaking there. Other than that, the device, it still functions well. The hinge works. I do feel a little bit of maybe grainy or grindiness or whatever when I move it in and out, but it still feels pretty tight. I can move it into any form factor and it's still holding its form. Now, what do I think about this device? Now, overall, this isn't going to be a scientific review. It's just my personal opinion. Now, I use my iPhone 10 quite a bit because I do use the Apple Watch. And so it makes it very convenient to be able to get my notifications on my wrist. It also makes it very convenient to, if I'm using something like iPods, to be able to turn the volume up or down with my smartwatch and not having to reach into my pocket to actually alter any kind of media content volume on the phone itself. The Surface or the Note 8, that I find myself still reaching for this quite a bit. One of the reasons is because of the actual feel of the device. It feels more comfortable in the hand than the Surface Duo does, and it also feels more rugged. It feels like, I do have an OtterBox case on this, of course, but it just feels like I'm not going to break it. It also, as far as the screen responsiveness, I find that both on the iPhone 10 and also on the Note 8 and even the Pixel 2 XL for that matter, were as far as responsiveness, screen responsiveness to touch, is a little bit more consistent on these devices. Of course, as far as cameras are concerned, I'm not reaching for this at all. I'm going with one of these other offerings over here. Now, that being said, why then would I continue with the Surface Duo. Why did I keep this particular phone? Well, first and foremost, the price that I paid for this was over $1,000. This one was probably $800 or $900 when I purchased it, and this was probably about $700 or $800 when I purchased that. So these are premium price phones, not premium for today's time, because now phones are going for like $1,800 or more. This phone came out originally, it was $1,500. I got it for under 400 or whatever, and I did buy an extended warranty for it. And it has newer hardware than all of these phones. Now, being a person who is used to carrying multiple phones, I wanted to see if this dual screen was actually going to be able to do something for me, as far as helping me to reduce the amount of technology that I would carry on a daily basis. And in some aspects, I would say it has fulfilled that functionality, in the sense that I truly enjoy having the two screens. It's such a nice feature to be able to research one thing on one side of the device, and basically to, maybe I can watch a YouTube video on one screen and then also take notes on the other. These are all very nice, but they also are niche things that you can benefits that you can get from this particular phone. Now, not 100% sure how I want to approach this, because so this right here, this is what I mean by the comfort. This is a little bit, I don't have the biggest hands. This is a bit wide for me. And the phone just feels a little bit more delicate than when I'm holding, obviously, this phone in the OtterBox case, or this one here in the OtterBox case. It just feels a little bit more rugged and robust with the other two offerings. Now, that being said, it's not a deal breaker for me. It's just something that I'm mindful of. I feel as though that I put a little bit more thought when I use the Surface Duo. I feel like I need to be a little bit more purposeful about what I'm doing with the device, so that I don't damage it any further than the port there. I have not dropped the phone, so I haven't had any issues like that. As I said, the camera is pretty much a no-go as far as if you were really trying to get something that was really nice. That's already been reviewed many times on YouTube, so I'm not going to touch too deeply on the camera. I'm just more so talking about my personal feeling about the device, and I am happy that I bought it, especially for the $400 price tag. I can't say that I would be quite as happy if I would have spent the $1,500. Despite the fact that when this device was originally announced along with the Surface Neo, which was supposed to be a tablet of the same form factor, I was totally all in. I've always liked using Windows devices for a particular reason that I could get into probably in another video, because it will make this one too long. So one of the things I like about the Surface Duo is the use of being able to use the pen. Now, this pen does have a button on it that you can utilize, but this button is not functional within with the Surface Duo 1, so you don't get that added functionality. It is what it is. But I do like the stylus functionality. I do enjoy actually going in, and let's say if I open the OneNote app, you can see that there. Let me just put that in the shot. So like if I want to do a quick note and just type, I can do it. It's pretty nice. I enjoy that feature. It's I find that writing on this, like when I fold it over in this form, I find that writing on this is better than or more comfortable than writing on my note, which is a little bit more of a cramped canvas when I'm actually trying to write here. And my note, I guess, is dead, so I can't really display that. I just enjoy the writing experience on this device. I do feel it is a little bit wide in the hand, as I've spoken before, for me, but the experience is better on this Duo. Now, that's not to speak on features. Feature-wise, I would still say that the Galaxy product, the Samsung Note, is a lot more fleshed out as far as features, but what this does have is a better writing canvas for something, taking notes in your hand. And you know, it goes without saying, having the dual screens, I mean, I can just put this note over here, and then I can open up a web page and go to whatever site. Let's see, this Surface Duo, and I can actually take notes while going through, you know, whatever information I want to go through. And I find that to be a nice experience to be able to do that. On the flip side, with the actual Samsung, now you could turn the orientation into what is this, like landscape, and you can have two boxes to be able to get a similar experience, but it's so cramped. And I just find that this is a better canvas for being able to write. I like the fact that it is firm enough for me to write on the screen while I'm holding it in this orientation here, so I can just go ahead and go to town writing whatever I need to write. It's just cool the way that it can actually hold its shape or form, and I just feel like this is a lot more of a productive type of device in that aspect. Now, something that I do wish that this device had, which in my opinion would make it ideal, would be, but I also believe it would drive up the cost. This device should have a front screen. All right. I do think it should be a little bit narrower to make it a little bit better of a fit in the hand. But if this actually had a screen on the front, and don't make the same mistake that the actual Samsung did with their folding phone, where you can't use the pen on the outside, I think that would be an awesome experience to be able to take out your pen, make your notations on the front, or do all your operations there, and then to open it up and have a greater canvas with full functionality throughout, I think would be good. That would be a really cool feature. Another thing that I think that would be great for this device is, since of course Surface Duo is a product of Microsoft, being that they do the xCloud and these types of things, I personally believe that they need to integrate the xCloud features in this device in a more effective way. What I mean by that is, now, I have not seen that this is actually available. Maybe it is, and I'm just ignorant to it. But this should respond very much like a Nintendo DS, in the sense that there should be a Microsoft application for controls for xCloud built in. It should be something that should pop up when you go into games as an option. It should be a choice. And it should be built in and fleshed out to be able to play cloud gaming on this device. Another thing that I believe is, when you go into a mode like this, I believe there should be a hard laptop mode. Basically being that the keyboard would be up here along the top of the device, and you know, you would have like a mouse pad down here for to use as a trackpad, and then this could be a screen, so this could actually function as a full laptop. Now, I know I could pull up the Edge browser and I can actually move this up to this screen, and when I go to type in text, it operates somewhat like that. But what I would like is a functionality where I could actually lock it into this mode if I so choose. Like right here, what I'm missing on this particular screen, or in this area here, when you look at it in this orientation, I'm missing a mouse pad. So I know on, I think it was, I'm not sure if it was Windows Phone or one of the phones that used to have like a little button where you could actually put your finger on it and toggle around like a mouse tracker. I think that would be excellent. I mean, you've got some screen real estate down here, so that would have been nice to have like a trackpad built in down here on this thing so that you could move a mouse around on the screen and access things without having to go up here and touch the screen and then come back down here and type. I think that is a missed opportunity in my opinion. I do believe that there should be an accessory for this device that would basically combine like an Xbox functionality with this. So like basically very similar to the Nintendo Switch, where you would have these Xbox controls and somehow it would connect to the device on each side so that you could get the full Xbox experience on this mobile device. I see so much potential in this particular device. The things that that kind of give me pause is it probably would be beneficial if it was a little bit thicker. And the reason why I would want it to be a little bit thicker is so that you could actually probably build a more rugged cage around this device to make it more robust and to protect it, right? Obviously, if you made it a little bit thicker, you could probably do something with a more of a flushed camera operating system, which I think would be better. So you could upgrade the camera, by, putting it in the body of the device, and you don't have a bump like you would have on the other Duo where it would kind of sit open in this fashion because of the camera hump. So a little bit thicker, a little bit narrower, a screen on the front, and also maybe build in a stronger magnet system to be able to attach the pin to the device. I think that would also be ideal to keep that pin near to the device. Would like to see a 1 terabyte version. And those are just things that I would do to improve on this device if I had the opportunity. And I really, I'll talk more about Windows Phone on another video because it's going to be a real rant. Focusing in on this particular product that I have in my hand, the things, as I said, that I don't like are basically the screen is not always as responsive as I would like. It does not always respond when I open the device, when I use the actual the fingerprint scanner, and even the power button. Sometimes I'll open it up and it'll just be black. The screen will be black and it won't operate, and I have to open it and close it and try to hold down the power button. It still has bugs like that in the device, even with all the updates. So one of the things that kind of prompted me to go back and purchase this is I did see a few YouTubers online basically saying like, oh, it's so much better, it's so much better. And I guess it's all relative. I do know, because I did own this device when it first came out, that it was not in the smoothest shape. And, as I've said earlier in the video, I actually just had this in my pocket at work. It got warm. I pulled it out of my pocket. It never powered on again. And when I sent it back, they asked me if I wanted another one. I was like, well, not for $1,500. So at $400, in my opinion, even right now, this is an excellent option when you compare it to a lot of the other phones that are out there on the market at their full price, especially if you want a device that's a dual screen. I do see the purpose and the benefit in having a dual screen or even a foldable screen. I do believe you need a screen on the outside though. Not having a screen on the outside really diminishes the initial usability of this device. I mean, this device right here actually does require 2 hands. It does require a little bit more thought in the way that you use the device, just simply because obviously, you got glass on the front, glass on the back. You don't want to break it. There is no kind of OtterBox case to give it the same level of protection as another candy bar style phone. So with all that being said, for me, as kind of a tool, tech, gadget guy, that's okay. I can work around the shortcomings of a device like this personally, but I think for the average consumer, I don't think that they would actually feel very comfortable with the device that, you know, can feel delicate at times, that requires extra thought and work to actually use it, you know, and especially with the software not being as smooth and polished as, you know, a phone that's been around for forever. This is, in my opinion, an excellent first version of this device, despite all of the software issues. And if you can get around that, you know, fine. But for $400, in my opinion, you can't beat it, especially if you're a person like myself that actually has, you know, at least one backup phone. I think this is an excellent consideration for that reason. Would I have this as my main and only phone? No, I would not, because I do use a smartwatch. I do use notifications on my smartwatch quite a bit. And even though I can buy an aftermarket, or, you know, like say a Samsung or another Pixel watch to pair with this, it's been my experience when I actually tried to pair my Samsung with my Pixel or, you know, other things, it's just not as seamless of a process as it is with the iPhone. It just kind of, with the iPhone, for the most part, my experience has been it's just worked. And it would have been better if Microsoft would have stuck with the whole Windows Phone thing and just, you know, put in the hard work to kind of build out their platform. Anyways, I'm going to talk more on that in another video. So I'm going to leave this right here. Would I buy this phone again for the $400? Absolutely, I would. I'm contented with it. It's just an extra gadget is all it is. It is not my main phone. It would not become my main phone simply because, as I said, now if this had a screen on the outside and it was a little bit narrower, this could absolutely be my main phone with an actual smartwatch, not without. I've just become so accustomed to using a smartwatch on a daily basis, especially in the line of work that I do. It's not always conducive to be able to pull the phone out. This is also another great device to be able to utilize with, say, something like a Vuzix Blade, which I do have a video coming up about the Vuzix Blade here in the future. But right now, we're just talking about the Surface Duo. Anyways, guys, thanks for taking the time to ramble. This is probably not all on point, but just understand, especially when I'm talking about technology devices, I don't sit down and write and script out these videos, so that's why you're going to have a lot of misspeak, and also maybe the actual logic of the video doesn't flow quite as well. But if you stick with me, it'll get better over time, because with practice, you know, comes, you know, not necessarily perfection, but at least better. And I do hope to get better at talking about products like this that I personally buy, not something that someone's given me, but more so things that I actually buy and use, so that it's just a different perspective. I mean, personally, I would have wanted a friend or anybody to kind of give me a good amount of information on a device like this, especially at the $1,500 price point. Someone that's actually going to tell me the truth and, you know, let me know if this would be a decent product for me, so that I can make a more informed decision to purchase or not to purchase. Would I recommend someone else buy this device? I'm going to be honest. Unless you're a gadget person and you can deal with finagling with devices, I would not buy this. I mean, that's just the bottom line. And that's no knock on the phone. I think it's a great phone. I think it's a great product. But I personally wouldn't recommend this to, say, someone that is very much married to a typical candy bar phone. This is not going to be a great experience for you. It's going to be quite the learning curve. But if you're a person that's a lot more open-minded about your technology and you're willing to kind of finagle with things, then this is an excellent device. And definitely then, in that case, I'd be like, yeah, try it. You know what I'm saying? You know, do whatever. Now, obviously, as long as these are available You could get it on Amazon for a substantially cheaper price. You know, like I said, $400. If you buy an AT&T lock version, I think the price is even closer to like $350. And as I said, I mean, if you're just in the market for a new phone and you don't want to spend too much and you don't want it to be a billion years old, this is not a bad purchase just to, you know, get you through to maybe when you want to get something that's a little bit more pricey, because these phones right here, you know, when you buy them brand new, they're pretty weighty in the cost, especially when you go with the higher storage models and everything. Anyways, I'm rambling. There will be a video coming up about my Windows phones here that I have, and also about my Surface products that I own. And there may be a separate video where I will go into detail about how I felt, well, what I thought Microsoft was going to do with the Windows Phone, and also how do I say? So I actually was supposed to start YouTube way back in 2016, but I was always pretty apprehensive, and I was busy too doing other things, so I didn't do it. And so I had this opinion, which I'll talk about in another video, about what I thought Microsoft should do. But right now, me saying it just sounds like revisionist history. So I do wish that I would have had the confidence at that time to actually, because I believe I started my blog around 2016 as well, which I need to get on writing some articles for that, which I have not. But I had a lot of interesting ideas of where I thought the company was going to go, and they didn't go in that direction. And now hindsight is 2020. But we'll talk more about that in a future video. Thanks for taking time to watch the video, and I'll see you in my next one. Take care.